Hello, 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 Instagram, you beautiful social media world, and all my beautiful Freedom family. Hello, I've gone live today to bring you, hopefully, a nice interview with my friend MJ. And yes, hello Hugh, hello Doug, and anyone else that's joining today. Yep, MJ, you're here. So yeah, let's bring you an interview, sharing knowledge from people where we can all learn from. We can learn from everybody and share this wonderful knowledge. And this is my first connection, so when we meet live, it's gonna be the first time. It's not much pre-warning, so you're just gonna, get information on MJ's story and life and what she's up to. So it's gonna be pretty fun. I know she's put me to accept. So okay, so here we go. Let's roll. Let's roll. Fun.
Hey, hi Harry.
Yo, MJ, how are you? Wow, cool.
I'm great. Can you hear me? Is connection good?
Yeah, so far. Let's hope the connection does.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So MJ, where are you based? Where are you?
I'm
Where are
in
you
New
from?
York. I'm in New York City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're American. I thought you were Australian. I don't know why I got the impression you were.
Well, I'm originally from Europe. I was born in Lithuania, which is near Germany and Poland. And then when I was 10, I moved to New York, and I've been here for 16 years now.
Nice.
So,
You didn't have, yeah, you
yeah.
had a look about you that didn't seem like an American girl. That's why I kind of thought. I kind of picked up on it. Right.
Wow, yeah. I'm European. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we
And
connected a little bit. I like your posts a lot. You got a great post, and I think I watched your YouTube too. And
oh,
yeah,
thanks.
you're doing amazing things. We're all light workers here, right? But I really wanted to just to get to know you a little bit better and what you're up to, and a little bit of your health story. If you could share with us, I guess, at the beginning. So how did you get into? How did you get into? How did you start the journey of your health and spirituality and waking up?
Well, everything started when, I moved to New York and I started eating like the standard American diet, which is like all processed burgers and all that, uh, anything but healthy. And my health like crashed. Like I started, breaking out, had like inflammation,
How old are you? How old are
I
you?
had a lot of
How old?
digestion. I was 10 when I like, so
Oh,
everything
so
that's
proper early.
like building. Yeah, it's like a crucial age because your body is like still like building all your tissues, and I basically just like started like, you know, going down the hill with my health because of what I was eating, because I was not used to eating so much processed food, so much fat. Because in Europe, where I was growing up, it was, more natural food, and the food was, right from the trees, and my grandma has a garden, so it was so opposite from, the things that I experienced. And so like my health started going down the hill, and I was like, made a connection like, wow, like the food that I'm eating is really affecting how I'm feeling and, the health of my body. So then that led me into the journey of, going to nutrition school, learning about like everything I can about nutrition. And I got into, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Morse and Dr.
Yeah.
Graham Douglas. So I started,
Yep.
Researching them and, trying to apply that into my life, and it really like changed the way I'm feeling, and like the mood swings and everything like stabilized, and like my health, and I'm feeling great. And so like really just experiencing that health, like when you don't have your health, and then when you could heal yourself from the power of just like food, like natural foods and herbs. It's like so amazing. And like juice fasting and stuff like that, I know you're into that. And it just like transformed, and I don't even want to eat any, like that's like the past. Like I'm not even turning back to that lifestyle. Just but it's good to experience it, to know like how damaging it could be. And and also like a lot of things in my family, like my grandma had colon cancer. She didn't do chemo. She started drinking kombucha, and she like healed colon cancer with that. So that kind of like opened my like eyes to like, wow, like so much possibilities out there to nutrition and just natural healing. So I've been in this journey for like 8 years now. So
Mm.
yeah. It's
How old are you
amazing.
now? You seem quite young. I'm guessing
26.
25,
I'm
26.
26.
Okay, so
Yeah.
8 years. Wow. So
Yeah.
when you were very young when you got into this, a young teenager.
19. I was 19 when I started my journey of like cutting out animal products, and
Mm.
yeah, I was pretty young, and I was inspired by a lot of people in my circle to, make that step. And, I met amazing people, and they're, I kind of got onto, not like cutting out animal products when I was 19, and it just like shifted the whole, like, so much. Like, I opened up to like this whole world of like, wow, like everything is so connected, like the food that you were eating, like the economy, the politics, everything was just like connected. So it just really like cleared me up and opened my third eye, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's amazing.
That's amazing. So you've got like a warrior story of like having so much illness and ill health, and that really broke you to a place probably where you're depressed, I'm guessing too. You weren't good mental and
Okay.
good mental emotional state. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I feel like the food really affects, because our brain, like our gut is our second brain basically. So when we're, not nourishing the best food, then it affects like our mood swings, and and also like I was a teenager as well, so like that amplified, the like everything was out of balance for me, from like, you know, hormones. I mean, dairy is like a huge thing that's like, mucus forming, and most people are drinking. And I was like, and I was breaking out like crazy. I was like, why am I always so inflamed? And I never made that connection until like I got into nutrition. I'm like, oh wow, like what is supposedly dairy food is good for you, but it's actually just like one of the worst.
right.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
mucus
same with
forming is
it.
huge, I think. Like it's one of the primary causes of disease. I mean, there's loads of reasons that we know about, but definitely one of them that is undeniable to me, although some people will argue, even our communities, that mucus is, I feel like it's a protection mechanism created by eating the wrong foods. So your body trying to protect you, but doesn't mean it's good. And you can have way too much of this thing, and it
Right.
does cause problems in your body.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, mucus, like the dairy is very mucus forming, and the mucus itself is just coating, our cells to protect from like the acid that's, and it draws out like, minerals from our bones even. And it's like a huge misconception that like dairy is good for you for strong bones. It's actually the opposite. It takes out calcium to neutralize the acid. So it's like, it's like completely the opposite from what we learn,
I love
and
that. We live in opposite land. There's so many opposites that we learn when we start this journey, and that's a huge opposite. Like one
yeah.
thing they're telling us helps your bones, and it actually weakens your bones. And I think it's part of a, I think it's part of a psychopathic joke thing. So it's kind of funny to them to tell you the opposite because it makes you, yeah, it's just how stupid are we? Like almost like a mockery thing.
Hmm.
And a lot of us are not stupid, but we get down the path of, yeah, doing the wrong things because we trust other people, I guess, like doctors and the wrong doctors. So not a Dr. Morse. We trust a normal doctor that sits and earns loads of money and stuff. So.
Well, yeah, they don't even have much education about nutrition. The doctors are, they
Yeah.
what get like 8 hours of nutrition for the whole like years that they're learning, and that's not no profit in people like being healthy. They want you to come back and be on their pills, and so it's like a whole loop of like economics and politics that go into like what, there's no profit for them being health, like from us being healthy. So it's like so much power that we could take on in our own hands by being able to, nourish ourselves through our own knowledge and education, and like the right herbs and nutritions. Like we don't need these outside sources to rely on. So I think it's so much power that they want us to like be repressed, and like, so it's, but yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask? So I saw. I think you're doing juice fast. I saw on your YouTube a couple of weeks ago. I checked out. You don't have many YouTubes, but I saw one of them on. Yeah, juice fasting. So
Mhm.
talk to us about how you're doing with juice fasting. What's the benefits of juice fasting versus others if you tried them? And yeah, why do you think that that's a great one to do for people? And what does it give you?
Well, I don't think it's for everyone, right away, because I've been on to vegan journey for a while, and eating raw more, well, mostly raw. And I think that if someone who's eating a standard American diet, or, just like processed animal stuff, and they go back like right away, the next day they go into juicing, that could be very dangerous, as, you're releasing a lot of toxins, and that wouldn't be, smart. But if you are already like on a healthy, path, it's such a great nourishment to your cells, because you're not you're giving your digestive system a rest, and then you're nourishing on cellular level, and it goes into your bloodstream right away, so you don't have to like work extra to break down. I think that having a right juicer is also really important, having a cold press juicer, because when you juice with a regular juicer, you just destroy a lot of nutrients. So the cold press, keeps them intact. So
Yeah,
that's
we
like
did my
very
ignorance. Is cold
important.
press more expensive? I'm guessing they're more
It
expensive, but
is,
worth it.
yeah, but it's so worth it. Like I had my juicer for 3 years now and works amazing, and one of the best investments I had. I tried a couple of them, and I don't know if you ever looked into it, but the Tribest Green Star is my favorite. It's a dual double gear, and it has metal blades, not plastic. So like the Omega one has plastic, and I feel like it doesn't also extract as much, so you have a lot of pulp still. So even though Tribus is more expensive, you get more juice because there's less pulp. So in the end, you're saving more anyway because you get more juice. So, in New York is very expensive. Like if you go to a juice bar, it's like a $10, $12 juice. So that's not sustainable for me. And I think
Yeah.
also washing your own produce, like you washed it well, that's important. So for me, like that money already paid off in like those 3 years because I juice a lot. And yeah, I feel, the only mistake that most people, I think, and I myself could do or wrong in juicing is not drinking enough liquids, and that's very important to like stay hydrated. For me, I noticed like the first time I ever did a cleanse, I didn't, well, juice fast, I didn't drink enough liquids, and I became like very lightheaded. So like I would get up and like be dizzy. And then, the second day and third day, I was like juicing way more, and I was like, okay, like that went away, and I feel like you need more. At least for me, that's what I found out. Like, and you're never really hungry when you're juice fasting. At least in my experience, like I never really got hungry. Like, oh, like I want to eat. If you're
Yeah.
supplying
And I
enough
guess
with,
if you did, I guess if you were hungry, you just drink some juice and it would take it down a notch and it would be okay again. You wouldn't, because I've heard that water I feel like water does dissipate hunger, or fluid, sorry, should I say. So I'm guessing that would help too, just drinking that juice.
I think that because you don't have any, like I noticed with the smoothies, when you blend them, it has the fiber. So I feel like the fiber stimulates the gastric juices, and then you want food to come in, and then I noticed with juice, I don't get that feeling because I'm just like, I'm not stimulating those gastric juices, and it just, it's calm. So maybe that's why, I don't know. But for me, at least I noticed like, yeah, when I'm like getting a little, like feel like I need something in my stomach, I just drink juice. But it's not emotional. Like it's not like emotional eating where you're like, oh, I'm bored, I want to eat. Like you really could like sense like, are you hungry, or are you bored, or are you trying to suppress some feelings. So that's, it's huge for me. Like that's like, and that you don't really need to eat that much because you know you're like, you don't need that much as how much we overeat. Like we really don't,
Because
unless
we're
you're
all
like
powerful beings,
crazy.
maybe. We're super all powerful
Yeah,
beings that create our own energy. So of course we don't need that much as they're telling us to eat, like 4 meals a day plus snacks, maybe. That was a massive lie.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And like, if you go outside, like if you ground, be in nature, you don't even need to, have all that, you charge up from the universe, like from just like breathing that fresh air, or however fresh it is
Yeah.
now. But
Yeah, I was thinking, me and you. I mean, I live in a town and it's a really busy road, so it's really not fresh air where I'm living. And we try our best, though, don't we? And you're in New York, and I'm guessing, one thing with New York as well, because I've been there, and there's skyscrapers. I guess the light is affected, so you get a lot of blockages of that natural light because of the skyscrapers, isn't it?
yeah.
Plus the EMFs too, in the city. So we do what we
Oh
can,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get out. Yeah, I just have to figure out where I'm gonna go. But, I really
Mm.
like wanna be grounded, have garden, and it's kind of like already my past being in New York. But yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
just looking at seeds, gathering seeds, and trying to be more grounded, because I mean there are like, I try to go out to places and parks, and there's public oceans and stuff like that. So I do what I can, but it is more challenging, and with all these like technologies that are rolling out now, just
I feel
It's
like
not.
you have to earn your stripes. In my opinion, of that it's like there's a book called by Pedro Schoen called Urban Warrior, and I really like it because you have to earn your stripes, not in an environment where it's all pristine with clean, pure air. You have to earn your stripes doing the hard shit in the kind of environments where we're in towns and cities where we're surrounded by not only toxic air, toxic EMF, toxic people, dare I say it. We're surrounded by
Yeah.
everything that's toxic around us. So it's really training. It's training wheels for what you just said, but we're all going to move, even people watching this as well, we're all just planning this mission to build ourselves up so that we can eventually live together in tribes where we don't have to be around the wrong people and we can just be around pure air and really learn and grow from each other, which is what we ultimately came to do. I mean, this is great, our interaction here, and I really appreciate it. But of course, the next level is for us to meet up in the physical and be with each other, like instead of having these kind of things. But in the meantime, yeah, I'm appreciating this stuff.
Yeah, I think it's very important to be, in communities of like like-minded individuals and build together, and that should be the future. That should not even be the future. That should be now. People coming together and helping each other out as opposed to like relying on these outside like governments that looking to profit from you. So it's like the people have the power, and it's just like we have to, come together, get land. That's my goal, to have a community. I just have to see where that takes me. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm like you. I'm in the building phases now where I just had to build my finances because I believe that financial abundance, I know money's an illusion. It's a game, but I'm going to play the game because we're not doing energy exchanges. I'm not getting value from exchanging with my communities value for value. So I have to play the money game. So for me, I'm building up the money base now so that I can be financially secure and rely on that and keep building it so that I can go wherever I want, live where I want without having to worry about money. And I live with my parents right now, so I don't even look at myself badly for that. I'm just building up my money base here, and eventually I will move out, and eventually I will be living with the people I'm meant to live for. In the meantime, I'll
Mm-hmm.
play the game with the Matrix, have some fun, learn a lot of lessons from, I think the people that teach us the most are the people we're with right now, and the environment we're with right now will teach us a lot, and it will train us up. So, yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you definitely learn more when it's like when you are in like those constricted environments, or when you want to like expand beyond that. Like it definitely gives you like sharpens your mind to like use your skills and talents. I mean, we should all be doing that. We should all be, exchanging our talents and skills for other services, and that's how it was back in the day. It's just now it's like this currency that got into it, which is not even backed up by gold anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things now like online that you could do, like online programs and ebooks, and I'm working on an ebook too, to like just
Are
have
you?
like a little.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
What's it
yeah,
about?
thanks.
What's it
It's
about?
gonna be just like juices and smoothie recipes, and just a little bit about like the benefits of each, and yeah, just like basic, because a lot of people are asking like, oh, well, what can I juice and what can I blend, and I just want to put that together for like affordable price, and just people could just go there, because I do health consultations too, but some people are not able to get that, or just not ready for it. So I just like, if you still want to like have a step in like a health direction, you could just get the book. So I'm working, is going to be coming out this month, so yeah,
All right, so
I'm
that's
excited.
soon. Wow, I thought you would. That's yeah, I'm psyched for you. Yeah, guys, if you're watching this, follow her, the Health Homie, and yeah, look out for that ebook for sure. Where's it available? What platforms do you put it up on? Or do you sell
So
it
I'm gonna put
yourself?
on PayHip, but then I'm gonna link it to my website and have it there. But I'm probably gonna also do on my Instagram, like the link tree, and have like the direct link over there. But yeah, I'll announce it when it's ready. I just have to couple more recipes, and it should be good to go.
I'm definitely
Yeah.
down with the idea that you said of having multiple. I think you suggested it if you didn't say it outright, like having those online source of income. I think for me, I can speak of 2018 up to 2018. I was just the guy that was so excited about life. I was giving out free information all the time, and that was okay at that point. But I got a bit frustrated with that, and I was like, hey, I need to survive now. I don't want to do normal jobs. I was doing normal jobs at the time. I need some my own money. So that motivated me to write my books, and I've done 6, and I'm going to write loads more. And that was the good, but it didn't bring me a lot, but it's nicely, it started me off. Then this year it exploded online, and now I'm making kind of okay money. But the thing is, it's not just like Forex, it's actually to do with health, and people are coming back to me and saying, hey, thanks to you, Harry, you transformed my life. So I'm doing something that making good money now, but it's transforming people's lives, and that's the ultimate goal, I think, for us. Because I feel like there's so much abundance, even outside of the physical health field, of like online work. There's so much opportunities for us to make money now and to get that abundance. And I think that everyone should I want people to watching this to realize that there is so many options out there. You have to take risks. You have to go with those programs, that think that, oh, you make money quickly. Sign up for those things and keep working, because you can get. I've got friends that have 2020 as well. My friend is transformed. I've seen some of my friends transform, step up their game, including myself, step up big time for this year. I don't know. What's your experiences with 2020 for yourself and people you know? Have they been stepping up, or like has it been
I
downhill
mean,
hard? And
it's very interesting because this year, like, you could really see the people who are awake and who are not. It's just like in New York, it's just like the mask wearing and not really like trusting in your immune system. It just, it's funny to me, but like the lack of education, that people have. But then again, you could really see like the propaganda that goes in the media and how that affects people. So, some people that are in my close friends, they see through it, but a lot of people are just, like wearing the mask and eating burgers and just, watching TV and not really like taking care of themselves. And I was like, how's that mask gonna help you survive, to build your immune system if you're still like smoking a cigarette, when you take that mask off, so it's just like, but it's very, I feel like this year is more people are concerned with their health. So I think there's people that are like, okay, like how can I improve my health? How can I like do to raise my vibrations? And some people are like, okay, like I'll just put that mask on and chill out. And, so there's like a divide. But I think that there are a lot of people waking up to what is going on with the, the government, and there's so much, it could be a whole live just on that. But so I feel like more people are aware of what like how they're being controlled and manipulated. So that's amazing. But then there's other people that are just like so asleep, and just like I get constant like DMs, and if I post like a woke post, they're like, like just going with the mainstream, and I'm like,
on
can
Instagram, so
you
you
look
post
at
at what social media channel? You post on Insta something crazy, and they go,
yeah, like they just go like, oh, people are dying, and I'm like, and I try to explain like, like people die every day, but what are they dying from? Like, there's the, you know, whatever like this virus is going on. I don't want to say because, but they get labeled, like people get into car accidents and they get labeled as the COVID death, and I'm
or
like
try
that.
the iatrogenic diseases, which is like one of the biggest killers for years on end, endlessly, like accidental mistakes by going to a doctor or going to a hospital, and
Yeah,
or taking the drugs and side effects. Try that one. It's just not highlighted by the media. We have to learn this.
exactly.
Well, we have to learn it for ourselves. It's mad.
Yeah. So in the United States by itself is like 440,000 yearly deaths from doctors' errors.
How many? 440,000.
For exactly. Can you believe
Wow, half a
that? But
million then. Nearly half a million. Wow.
and who's talking about that? Who's talking about that? So, that's what I'm saying, and people are not realizing. But then they're like, when I post something like that, they're like, people are like, oh, are you a doctor? Have you been in the shoes? And I'm like, it could be
Funny,
frustrating
isn't it?
sometimes,
They'll
but
say, "Are you a doctor?" When that. I saw an amazing quote once. It said that if you do a 30-day juice fast, you already just by doing you know nothing about health yet. You do a 30-day juice fast, you instantly know more. 10-day juice fast even, you instantly know more than a doctor. You don't know anything about health. But do you know why? Because your own experience from that 10 days will teach you more than a doctor who's, like you said, done 8 hours of nutrition, has no experience about what actually helps for health. So therefore you win. Like, it's not hard is what I'm saying to know more than a doctor. You just need a little bit of experience, like, and so it's crazy.
yeah, exactly. And if you go to a doctor, like some of them look so unhealthy, like they, could be overweight, could be smoking a cigarette, and I'm just like, am I gonna take an advice from someone like that? Like, it's like going to a trainer, like a physical trainer, and he's obese. Like, are you like? It doesn't make sense to me, And but people, I don't know what it is with people. Like, I'm just like, and I thought like New York will be like a little bit more progressive, like in the way of thinking. But this year, like, really showed me like bunch of sheep. Like, it's like no way other way to put it. It's just like that,
Yeah,
But what are you
it's
gonna
mad.
do?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like
I
a
feel
huge
like
divide.
yeah, I feel like with the conspiracy, they have to do, if they rush things in seriously, then it's going to wake too many people up. So there's like a totalitarian tiptoe. They have to do it slowly so they don't wake everyone up, and that's the key for them. If they do freak people out by just, I don't know, all of a sudden tomorrow enforcing vaccinations on everybody, that would freak everyone up, and that was not good for them because everyone will rebel. So they have to do it slowly, like David Icke talks about that, I think.
Oh yeah,
so yeah,
yeah,
they've got
yeah.
this, and they are doing it slowly, but like you said, we can only give our biases. I just see around me, because I don't go out much, and I'm just on social media all the time, I just see, I'm in a bubble, I guess, of the awesome people that I want to be around, so I'm not, I think I like to stay in that bubble of positivity, because that's ultimately how I feel we help the world. We're no use if we go down a conspiracy rabbit hole for too long, because then I just been there and I get negative and I feel like I'm disempowered, and there's dark shit that if I focus on too much, like pedophilia, then that'll break my heart, and I'm no use to her. I'm no use to people if I'm angry and powerless, because I can't do anything about pedophilia. I mean, I can, but I can't stop that, can I? I'm one person, so.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yes, there's like a thin line where you like the things that you learn and then how much you are involved in it. Like if you're so involved where you're like constantly getting frustrated and just like, you know, getting into this negative vibration, and it's like not worth to learn about that or even like speak to other people about that. But if you could disengage and like put that information out there and kind of just like, okay, here it is, if you want it or not, you know. There's been a time where like, you know, I write something and people are really like getting at me, and then I was like, well, if you want to learn more about this, I could like send you some research, but if not, then I have nothing else to tell you. Like, you know, it's like if you don't want to see my perspective of like what the things I learned, then okay, cool. And some of them were like, oh, like, yeah, like I'm just not gonna, like, I don't care about learning. So I'm like, okay, cool, you know. So but yeah, definitely, like if you focus, like I also can't control of like what is going on outside of me, but I also feel like there's some sort of like responsibility that like once you know, you have to like, it's like almost like for me like a responsibility to like let other people know about that, like, you know, either with
Yeah,
like nutrition
you
or
feel
even
you feel like you have to share, because if you don't, you're going against your soul. Like if something's changed your life, transform. I mean, for me, physical health wise, it was urine therapy. I love what you're saying, by the way. I love juice, I love fasting and fruits and all that stuff. I have deep knowledge of and experience too. But my primary love would always be the thing that woke me up and transformed me the most. And I think that's how it works for all of us. And I feel like if I don't talk about those things as I'm learning, so I get excited about urine therapy, I go off it, and I get excited about something else. And every moment of my life, I'm charting. I think you're doing the same. A lot of light workers watching this do the same. And it's great to encourage people. You've got to share what you're going through at that moment of your journey, because whatever you're going through, even darkness and the dark nights of the soul, is really important, because other people are going to go through that too. And you just share your excitement, and that's how we help each other on social media platforms before we eventually move in and live with each other, which is happening. And God knows already people are doing that. Some light workers already have passed the social media stage. Yeah, never pass it, but they're actually living in the real life together, which is the dream. So yeah, I'm not sure I was going for
yeah.
that. I just enjoyed hearing my voice for a second. I apologize.
Oh no, 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 totally fine. But yeah, yeah, it's like, yeah, if you don't share, then like, what's the purpose of even like having those experiences or living? And I feel like sometimes it's like you like I feel like if I'm not speaking my truth, then like why am I even alive? Like I have,
Mm,
you know, this, like it's like almost part of me to like express like that
mm,
what I'm thinking, and like maybe it's not the truth, but maybe it is, and who knows, and it doesn't matter because I have the right to express it. So I feel like when I know something that could better someone, and I'm not saying like that, like that's like a big part of me that's getting lost, you know. But
and you never know who you're helping as well, because I feel like a lot of people watching social media channels, it's not a fault, but a lot of people don't let you know that they're really inspired by you. There's a lot of haters too that they will that let you know. I mean, people that inspire you don't always let you know, and they just, for whatever reason, they just silently watch, and so you don't know the kind of impact you have in meeting people in real life and also on social media channels. That's what I've learned as I've grown. That sometimes I'll have people pop up years later and say, "Hey, I've been watching your chat stuff for great," and I was like, "Oh, you've been watching my stuff? I didn't know you were watching my stuff. Great, bro. I'm glad you got some value from it, and I'm glad you popped up now. But hey, you know, I mean, it's mad crazy what kind of impact you can have, and yeah, people don't always tell you that stuff, but I agree with what you're saying."
you know, I don't really
Just my end, I don't know. Yeah, carry on.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, great, great. Yeah. I was saying that it's amazing when you could, influence people and help them out and they like reach out to you. And I had a couple people that reach out to me and then they're like, oh, yeah, like, and it like really keeps me going. But initially that wasn't the case. Like I wasn't doing that to get that feedback, but it's amazing where you could especially like make exchange of value for, the services that you love to do. That is the best, help people and yeah, influence and live the life that you want to live according to your own
It's amazing. Service
rules.
is everything. I'm trying to be smart here and think of a quote that I read recently, and I'm gonna completely ruin it. But it's something to do with you think happiness is joy or service is joy, but they're both. The real joy comes from service. I can't remember who said it. It's a really smart quote. So yeah, serving people is why we're here on the planet and or whatever we live on, and it's amazing. I do want to ask you quickly about other health protocols that you either coach other people, you believe in, you do on a daily basis. So you can walk us through if you want a bit of like what your healthy lifestyle is. So I'm sure there's more to it than just diet, and diet's important. But what do you do to like maintain your vibration, or what do you enjoy doing? It's better.
Well, I mean, the most important thing is surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Like your immediate like five people are how you are, so like the closest people should be on the same lifestyle, same, because it's really hard to be on certain like, health and, health journey and other people are not understanding it and bringing you down. So I feel like they should either understand you or be on the same, like, just I'll hold your hand, let's do it. So it's very important to have people who are the same like-minded individuals and also be in an environment where you can do the best that you can in terms of like if you're in a toxic environment where like sometimes New York could feel like that, but like creating your own sanctuary where whether it's like at home, where you could just go and you feel good and you feel like even if you're living in the city, you would just having more plants and just
Yeah,
have crystals
that's
or
a good
some
one.
sort where you feel good, just feeling good itself. Like whatever that means for you is what that is. So feeling good, surrounding yourself with like-minded people, obviously getting out of nature as much as you can, I'm huge on grounding, like taking off your shoes on like
Yeah,
beach, dirt, whatever, and that's very important. And I'm in New York. If I could do it in New York, anyone could do it anywhere, so there's
yeah,
no excuses
yeah.
really. So and yeah, and also be mindful of what you're consuming, not from food but also from your what you're watching, what you're reading. I don't watch TV. I don't listen to radio. If I want music, I just like download whatever, like what I want. Just because that there's so much commercials and so much like programming that happens when you are watching TV. So I haven't done that in like 7 years or something. Like I don't,
Wow,
so
that's a long
like,
time.
I mean,
And
I
you're
do
young too,
watch
so
like
you're probably never going
YouTube.
to do it. Yeah, you're probably not going to go back to once you go, I guess, to that. You're never going to go back to TV. So
Yeah,
crazy.
you can't go back. Like I cannot go back. It's like I never even like I watch YouTube and Gaia TV and like Netflix, like some shows that are more makes you think. But yeah, it's a lot of brainwashing. So I start stay away from that. And yeah, so that's important. Also, like what you consume without food, like just like you're
Mental
and
diet.
just
Talk about the mental, emotional, mental diet, like what
yeah.
your input from environment and people and surroundings. So quickly for me, and this is just on share to yourself and other people, is that I guess I live in a toxic environment because I'm a black sheep of my family. I live with my mom and dad, and I don't get on well. It's not I don't get on well. No, it's not like that. It's like there's no understanding of who I actually am as a light worker, and I'm not showing off or anything. I'm just saying that I think differently to everyone. So like I've got a toxic environment, but what I do to manage it is I've got my room, and I think we can all, even in the midst, just telling people, we can all, in the midst of it, as long as we've got a room or a space where we can watch our YouTubes, do our social media thing, just to connect with people and have our own thoughts and dream. We've got one little space that we're not bothered in. for me, that's always going to be enough, just to have that space, because I've got the memories here. Like probably in your room too, wherever you're at, is the memories now of all the things you're learning and all the little amazing things are going to be in this room. So when you go back to it, automatically you sink into that nice calm state of like, oh, here's my memories, without even conscious. It's not a conscious thing. It's like, here's my safe zone where I have these memories of new thoughts, and it's beautiful. So we can create a sacred space in the midst of absolute toxic environments that I'm in and you're in the city, right? So it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that everyone who goes through, being a light worker or, a healer, I think they all have that darkness that they have to overcome. Either, being a black sheep in their family, which, when I went vegan, no one understood it, like in my family, except my mom, and then she got inspired to go vegan. But, no one understood it. But then, it takes some time for them to get used to it, to what you're doing. And now, like when I go to Europe and, they're big on meat, and now they're like, okay, like they give me fruits and salads, and, so they adapt as well. But that's like something new that they haven't seen because of like the programming that they've been through and their grandparents. And, so I think that's also very empowering when you could still stand your ground no matter the obstacles. And I think that makes you grow and not be, even your family's your family. Like if they don't support what you're doing, then, it's like you can make a choice, like you don't have to be with them, even though they're blood related. There's some people who are complete strangers that become more of a family than your family. So
Yeah.
So many people.
We're making a connection now, and the people watching this, I've got more connections with the people watching this than you than I do straight away. Just 5 minutes of conversation, we know we're more friends than even our blood family, which is not insulting our blood family. It's just, if your blood family is, or anyone is not understanding who you actually are, I think that's what I struggled with at the beginning. So your actual essence is not being seen by people and not being accepted and being rejected because of cognitive dissonance and because of challenge, and your growth is a challenge to their lack of growth and what they could be. So if they're not accepting you as you are, then that's kind of an insult, and it's offensive. I mean, yes, we can learn to interact with them and levels that keep them comfortable, but that's not our true essence. Our true essence is me and you talking and helping people and learning from each other right now. That's our true essence. So I feel free to say anything to you. I feel like I can be me around you, whereas we have to tread foot with what we can say, and we don't feel like we can be ourselves fully. And this goes for everyone watching, I'm sure, with other people. So yeah, it's crazy.
Well, yeah, but also, it took me a long time to understand when someone is judging you is because that their own insecurities, and it took me a while to like be like understanding of that. If someone is like, oh, you're this and that, and I'm like, that's just your own insecurity that you're projecting on me. So when I like distance myself and kind of, not get emotionally involved in that, conversation, or, sometimes it could look like just me getting up and leaving, and I'm like, I'm not going to engage in that. And that, but it's like everyone is going through their own stuff. But if they can't accept you for what you're doing, then they can't accept themselves fully themselves. So it's like, it's just a projection. But that's okay. Everyone has their own journey, and I try to help my family, with their health. And it's like I could say this million of times and it doesn't get through to them, but it hurts. But then I made peace with it because that is their own journey that they're going through. So even though I would love to help, I can't. So I have to be okay with that and understand that their own soul, their own journey, maybe they'll have to come back many times to understand that. So,
Yeah.
you
There's a quote I love. I've got it in my head all the time. It says, "There's nothing worse than watching someone drown, knowing that all they have to do is stand up and they'll survive, but they're drowning." So you could just like, "Oh, you just stand up." They're like, "No, I'm drowning. I'm dying." Yeah, just stand up, bro. Damn it. So that's really bad. It's really bad for us. It's ultimately harder for us to deal with. And one more thing on that is, when we talk about blood family and people that don't understand us, close friends that were and not vibe us anymore, what we can do is we can move away from that space, and then we can learn to love them from a distance, and then maybe come back, like not permanently, but just come and see them, like trips, because they're blood family. We'll never lose our love for our parents, for example, because they made us. We always appreciate it, but we can just take that time away from them, make them reflect on how much they actually love us, despite us being different and black sheep or whatever. And yeah, and it's great to take those breaks and to make them realize, okay, well, you know, who am I? And don't get surround yourself if you can, but yeah, go out and then come back, and go out and come back is how I see it for me anyway. So don't stay there permanently.
Yeah, definitely. And there was another quote, or not a quote, but it was in a book. I think it was like in the Celestine Prophecies. I don't know if you ever read that book by James Redfield. It's amazing. If you haven't read it, it's really good.
In my not woke days, I should have read it. No, I haven't read it. No.
Yeah, it's like so basically saying like if you or maybe it wasn't that book, but it's a good one anyway. But it was a quote saying like if you feel you're enlightened, go spend the weekend at your parents' house and basically see how you're enlightened, like how much you are.
I love that quote. I think it's Rumi that said that. Rumi, it might be in the book, but Rumi said that quote.
Okay.
Yeah. If you think you're enlightened, go and spend a week with your family. Good luck.
Yeah. And you know, and I used to be triggered sometimes by some family members, and I went back and I I was doing a lot of self-help books, and you know, the things that used to trigger me weren't really triggering me because I could, not take it personally, because I would always take it so personally, like the things that were being said. But I'm like, okay, like she's hurt, like, like that, like she didn't know how to deal with whatever, like she has pain and she's just like taking it out on me. But there are energy vampires that are like, it's a real thing. So like you really have to watch out not to get involved because they fuel on you, fuel on your anger. So once you don't feed them that, like once you're like, okay, like I'm good, like you could say whatever you want, I'm not gonna get affected, like then they stop, like they wouldn't like engage, they wouldn't like try to like make you push your buttons basically. So it's like very interesting to like observe and watch, and I've done that with my family and it was successful, just not getting emotional.
What I love about all of us, and I think you and me especially, is like I'm really good at. I love analyzing people and psychology from it. It's given me a lot of insight into how human psychology is, because we're all at different levels, right? But I've always wanted to grow, my value and who I am, and keep becoming a better person. So I've always liked how they think, how the cognitive dissonance works. It's a reminder. I think I'll always need that reminder of, because we'll take it for granted if we're surrounded by us, which we will be in the future. If we're surrounded by people that get us all the time, we'll forget what it can be like to be brainwashed. And it's nice to be reminded sometimes of how humans can end up damaged, how the Matrix damages even me and you, but even the Matrix lot, and all these things and the lessons and stuff. I find psychology absolutely fascinating in people and what makes people do what they do, and triggered and pain body attacks and reactions. And yeah, that's why I love the family stuff. I learned so much more from people, the Matrix lot, or the Matrix lot I call them, or just non-woke, whatever you want to call it. Those people, I learned so much from them. They teach me, they remind me of what I don't want to be, not in a bad way, because I'm not judging them really. I'm just judging them in terms of I've got something to do here, and I don't want to be like that. So yeah, I like it.
I mean, contrast is a great thing. It's like when you know what you don't want, then you know what you do want. So it's like amazing to be able to be exposed to that and distinguish, like, okay, like that's not for me, or I want to be not different, but just like the opposite spectrum.
Right.
And there's really no good or bad. It's just like how we label it. But obviously, some people who are saying like, I don't even want to get into it, I don't want to get censored, but I mean, like the labels that we put on is what we put on. So but it's good to know, I guess, for our own path to go like where we want to go, like what we want to get exposed more to and less to, so yeah, contrast is amazing.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Let's transition a little bit. Is there anything you want to that you're finding exciting on your journey right now that you want to share with us? Anything in particular that's on your mind?
Well, for me lately, I've just been into like trying to be self-sustainable as much as I could. So for me, it's just like getting excited about the idea of just going out and like finding land and growing my own food. That's like what really brings me joy, of because in today's environment, it's like they're printing out so much money that we don't know how sustainable everything is going to be. So I feel like it's very important for people and communities to come together and grow their own food and have solar panels. And so I've been really into that, and just like finding maybe like some communities that are out there doing that. But yeah, in day-to-day, life, I'm always really excited, just waking up and just getting that good nutrition in, and you know,
Mm.
just doing self-love. I feel like every day to get like some of that self-love in, you know, whatever that looks for you, is very important. Then you could be better service to others and be more loving to people around you. So I think that's very important. Even if it takes whatever, like 5 minutes, even just 5 minutes, do something for you, you know. So I feel like that's very important to have that daily into your life, you know. So yeah, that's what I've been excited, and I also want to do another interview with you because I found you very interesting, and I want to learn more about your therapies and all that you're
Yeah, we didn't
about.
touch base on that
So
today. Yeah, that's we did when yeah, when you see we'll talk about urine therapy for sure. That's cool. Yeah, I'd love to
yeah.
come on your channel and share. Also, I don't know if you know, and the audience knows that I can also put these up onto YouTube. You can save the link and put them on other channels, so I can put it on Facebook and things. So it's never a waste. You can put it on multiple platforms. These
Oh
programs. I don't
yeah.
know if you knew that. So yeah. Oh, you
Amazing,
did
yeah.
know that. Okay.
Well, I knew that you could like save it to like the download to your live, but I didn't know that you could upload it to elsewhere. That would be
Yeah,
really
once
cool
it's saved on,
because
you can download it on your computer. You can put it up onto anything. So it's
oh,
amazing. One thing I
awesome.
want to add to it, I did agree with you completely. Self-love is so important. One thing I don't think I'm coming to at the moment that I'm learning is that what motivates me and gets me really excited, loads of energy. Yes, it's amazing, physical health protocols. I love physical health. That's my actually prime obsession. But what I've realized for me, what motivates me a lot now that I haven't thought about for a longest time is actually my mission. I'm growing stronger into my mission and my power as a man. And that means like, okay, now I'm giving value from this. Now I'm expanding, growing. Now I'm giving more value to people. I'm giving more value. And that gives me lots of energy and it makes me super excited and super happy. So it's almost like not even a physical health protocol. It's something outside that I think is more powerful. I do the physical health too, but it's just the spiritual. Like I'm super happy and super charged because my purpose for being here is becoming more, because it was always there for us, right? But it's just there was layers of matrix stuff blocking us. So now I'm just peeling back the layers as I grow, and this year's been incredible. And now I'm becoming more certain of A, what to do, B, what kind of people I want to be around, and C, what kind of value I'm offering is just increasing. So that's making me so happy. What I'm just saying is on my service, my purpose is becoming finally, because I'm 33 years old, it's taken me a long time to get here, for sure, and especially at 33. But yeah, I'm super happy, and it's super important, underestimated, the power of, even for anyone that, say, doesn't look after their physical health, that has a strong spiritual mission, because I've always wondered about people that aren't particularly healthy. They can be, I've met MJ some fat guys that like I've been super grateful, and I've never forgotten. I couldn't understand at the time. And I didn't get it. Like they are super unhealthy physically, but emotionally they would tell me like, Harry, I'm so grateful. I feel it in my heart all the time. Like, whoa, how come you're physically unhealthy but you're spiritually so warm? It shocks me, and it always told me a lesson. I think that I'll never forget, that like sometimes physical health is super important for like living longer, but spiritual health and emotional health is like more important in a way. I really feel like that. Like.
Well, I mean that could and I met people like that as well, uh, and I was like, yeah, like you know so much knowledge about like the higher consciousness and stuff like that, but you're not physically taking care of yourself. But I think that's like the driving vehicle of like your body, even like just you know. But obviously, you know, that's still everything is chemistry still, so it's like you know, I
Yeah.
think that will still contribute to like perhaps a shorter life, or unless they have like super great genes, but you know,
It
chemistry is
will. Yeah.
chemistry. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So before we leave, I'd like to get an opportunity to say any last words or conclusion to the thing, and also your channels. Please let us know where, let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so I am on Instagram, the health homie __ in the between, and then Facebook the same thing without the underscore.
All right, I'm not your
Twitter,
friend on Facebook. I don't think I need to
yeah,
add you on Facebook.
yeah, we had
What's
to
my
find
main
each
media?
other. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, anyone could, you know, reach out to me, and I love to be of service. I could talk about nutrition, health, conspiracies, everything all day long. So if anyone wants to join in my
Yeah, we could have made this
conversation,
a long time, but I know people's attention spans these days, including myself. I'm not even judging other people. One thing, society, we've all just because of social media become it's all clickbait now, and there's no tension. People are just like, so yeah, we could talk all day, and
well,
I would
yeah,
love to. And that's why I think re-emphasize the point of like meeting up with you in the physical, because when you meet up with you in the physical, you can't just go flick from this interview or this Instagram post to something else. When you're with someone, you have to be with them, right? Kind of.
well,
You can
some
still.
people are not fully present anyway, you know, even in 3D, you know, they're not like they could be physically with you, but they're like elsewhere, you know, thinking about their whatever. you know. So mindfulness is no matter what. Like I feel like that's like the key to everything. Like when you're conversating with someone, be fully there. When you're eating, be fully there. When you're exercising, be fully there. Like if you want to plan, think about tomorrow. Like find like time, like find like 10 to whatever, how long you need minutes to like specifically sit and brainstorm. Like okay, like what am I doing tomorrow? Like when am I doing that? As opposed to like eating and thinking about that, you know. So like being fully present no matter what, and that's like practice on its own, you know, but it's very powerful. So
I need to
yeah.
get better at that. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're help homie on Facebook, Instagram. You've got an ebook coming out, which is amazing. If you can find you, and yeah, I really appreciate you jumping on and the concept. I don't know how you found. Maybe let's save for the next interview how you found me. I don't think I added you. I don't tend to search a lot for people. But yeah, I'm so appreciative of you coming
I'm
on. I
glad
knew
we
you had to
did.
have. Yeah, and one thing I'd like to say as well is like, so I was in New York 3 years ago. I definitely didn't know you then, and I didn't know many people. In fact, I don't know many people in New York. So when I'm next in New York and I'm allowed, I was going to come in October, November, can't now. So next year when I'm allowed and I'm in New York, it'd be cool to meet up with you and yeah, hang out in the physical for real and
Absolutely.
converse. And if not,
What?
who knows? I always say this to people, but there's also a truth that we might possibly be living in tribes together and have this. If you know, we are the same people, so you know, you never know with these things. It's exciting to think about that people I'm connected with now could be people that I'm going to know for a long time. We will know each other for a long time. We might be like really know each other on a deeper level, so it'd be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. What I was gonna ask you, what country are you in?
So I'm in the UK, near London. In the UK, the densely populated, like I feel like there's 90% of Americans, 90% of my audience are Americans. So there's more woke people. I know you guys probably don't think that, but there is more woke people in America than Britain. But there is
Well,
good people here, and I like it a lot. So
have you checked London Real dot TV with
yeah,
Brian
good
Rose?
channel, David Icke, and he
Yeah.
does good stuff. And Mantok Chia too. Don't even know Mantok Chia. Do you know Mantok Chia? He's
Oh
another
yes,
good one.
yes. Yeah, he was been on the
You know,
channel as well. Yeah, yeah, of course.
yeah, he's on it a lot, and I love Montauk stuff. I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with semen retention, and next obsession, if I get into a relationship, will be tantra and mastering that stuff. So I've got a lot of things that I've got to do in my life. So yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
very
I'm in
important
London,
for
UK.
guys. Yeah, it's very important.
So
Most people,
powerful.
most
Yeah,
guys
I will
don't
say
even
if anyone's
know.
watching this, yeah, I will say if anyone's watching this, I'm going to do some more videos on semen retention. I've talked about it a lot on my YouTube. I need to talk about it more because I'm getting superpower energies from semen retention. I never get bored of it. My God, I just never get bored of thinking and talking about it. I really think it's one of the most powerful things I've ever learned on Facebook. I've learned a lot of things about health, but one of the most powerful, maybe I thought about it in my head, is fasting, urine therapy. What was the third one? Urine therapy. Urine, yeah, fasting, and semen retention. Sorry, semen retention. Those three are the most powerful things I've ever learned in the health community. So yeah, we'll chat
Yeah,
about this though in the other
that's
interview.
very powerful. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we could do another live with you, and you could share some of that because I feel like a lot of guys would need to know this. It's very, very. It's your
Yes,
sacred
it's so
nectar.
important,
So
the divine masculine. And thanks for the coming in at the angle of divine feminine that understands, because a lot of women wouldn't, I understand that too. They wouldn't get that, and they would like, well, that's stupid. Why are you retaining semen? Because that's not part of their biology. You want to, I guess it's normal for you to want the guys to ejaculate, and that's cool, and it's not selfish. It's just unawareness. But the actual truth, it's very powerful when not just men but women know that too, so they can teach guys that they're with in future relationships. It's powerful when both sexes know that semen retention is super important for guys. And by the
and
way,
then you
I
could communicate.
Mm,
Yeah,
right,
yeah. Go
and
ahead.
actually, if you want to do a part two with me sometime soon, maybe not. If next couple of months we'll do one. Maybe if you can talk about what you know about the female side. I'm always curious about the female side of how it works with tantra, or anything you want to share on that as well, or Montauk stuff. Let me know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been into that for a while, and I think that a lot everybody should have that should be a basic education for everyone. You know, to know about these things,
Right.
how your body works, and like guys are so much different than girls in terms of like their ejaculation. So
Yeah,
for a
it's true.
girl, she could just it doesn't affect her
Yeah, it's
as
fine. I feel like
guys.
you're right. It's fine for a girl. It's a different orgasming. It's not an outward centered thing or a loss as much, and actually it's more powerful because I
There's
think
no
for the male.
loss. Yeah, there's no loss
Mm,
at all for female ejaculation, aka squirting. It's actually very cleansing for the body to release that. So it's very, very opposite for as for guys. Unfortunately, you guys have to
yeah.
practice
Well,
that
you say
inner
unfortunately,
circulation.
I was thinking today, like maybe in my dualistic version, I was like, I'm so grateful I'm a man, and I'll tell you why. Because semen retention is the absolute shit. Like, I really mean that. I have deep gratitude for the energy that semen retention gives me. I'm thinking if I was a woman, then that gratitude might not be there, because gratitude comes from duality, right? And the difference between not doing semen retention, that difference, and doing it. Because I don't fall off the wagon, but I still get wet dreams, and that's an issue. Because when I do, I lose that power a little bit, and then I recharge. And I love the fact I still get wet dreams, because that means that teaches me all the time about the power of retaining semen. Because you actually get to a level, if you're always doing semen retention, I hear this a lot from guys. They'll say, I've done semen retention for 2 years, 90 days, never had a wet dream, and I don't notice a difference. And people that say that don't get it. And then the reason why is because their vibration is they're just used to it, or they're not self-aware. But let me assure anyone watching here, semen retention is super fucking powerful, and I will never stop obsessing about it and talking about it. And one more thing I'll leave as well to people is it's blowing up in 2020. On my YouTube, two of the biggest things that people watch are urine therapy and semen retention. I talk about everything. So those two are the biggest ones, the most views. So that's interesting to me. Guys are waking up to semen retention. That is so amazing. And the death of porn. The death of porn will, because porn is the worst, man. Like, and I know I've been obsessed with it. I only gave it up. I've been obsessed with it for 32 years of my life. I only gave it up in 2020 by accident as my evolution. So it kills guys. It literally kills people.
Everyone, I think girls as well. It desensitizes us. It's been part of like this agenda to lose connection and not have that intimacy in coming together. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I see as well for porn, and and also for men, when you do ejaculate, you have to wait 28 days, isn't it, that to replenish that loss? It's the same as like the female cycle, like every 28 days you shed. So for guys, it's like 28 days. So basically, if you do ejaculate, like ideally, you wouldn't want to wait that long to and it draws out minerals.
I mean, you know it logically, but let me tell you from experience, you feel such different. Every day is good. So every day, look, every day is amazing. That every day I wake up, I get more energy, more power. Like, I'm like, whoa, where's this extra power from? I know that 90% of it is literally one extra day of semen retention, one extra day. It's like a superpower that you've got constantly running in your system. I love the implication too that your body's all powerful, and semen retention changes you. Like, your body is all powerful. So when you don't release the nutrients and the energy, you just recirculate it back, and you get superpowered energies. And yeah, it's my dream for every one of my huge missions. There's so many missions we've got, right? But one of them is like, I really want the end of porn and the end of guys it being cool at 13, 14 to ejaculate and masturbate, because it was for us guys. It's like a cool thing you do at school. Like, it's so cool. How about it be cool, like at school, put some social pressure on guys that do ejaculate and make it make it like a competition, like a competition thing, like between guys when you're young. Like, well, I did 90 days without ejaculating. I did 120 instead of like, oh look, I ejaculated, and the porn and like naked women and shit. Like, it devalues sex. It devalues the sacredness of what you're doing.
Yeah, and that's what porn is all about, just like go in there, perform whatever, and not really like connecting with that human, not connecting to your own body. Because I know from experience that guys told me that it's very difficult to, because it takes a lot of communication if you're with a partner to not ejaculate. So you have to, bring that mula bandha, and it's a lot of breathing. And I'm not sure, like, exactly, because I'm not a guy, but, it's a lot of effort. So
it's tempting. It's so tempting. It's like a short-term, long-term gratification thing. You can go for the easy option, but I've learned this over time. You can go for the easy option, but the cost is your long-term energy system's drained. But then that's what everyone does in the masses. Everyone goes in the masses, does the short-term gratification of the pizza, the ice cream, the eating too much food, the sex, instant sex, the ejaculation. And that's the training you got to give yourself. Train yourself for short-term delayed gratification for longer-term gain. And that once you do it for semen retention as a guy, that trains you for life, for everything, because now you just got willpower, short-term gratification delay, long-term power. That applies to everything in life. That applies to making more money in business. That applies to getting healthier, because that's not an instant thing. Short-term gratify. So yeah, it trains you as a guy to become Superman. Not to mention, you do transmute that sexual energy. You do feel like Superman, and you do. And even if guys are going at the angle of attractiveness with women, because that's kind of important too. We're attracted to the divine feminine. So if you are, then guess what? You will be more attracted to divine. You will be more attractive to them when you do semen retention versus if you don't. Again, I know from my personal reference, so do most guys. You don't want to be doing that stuff. By the way, it says 26 seconds remaining on this. I don't know why. Is there a limit to that?
Yeah,
what's going
perhaps
on?
so. It was so nice to talk to you, Harry. I'm sure we'll
That
get
was
to get.
lovely. Thank you for joining.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's been
yeah,
amazing, my friend. And let's connect informally. Definitely be fun to just have a
absolutely.
chat. So
Yeah, absolutely,
awesome.
absolutely. Yeah, take care.
Have a lovely day. And thanks everyone for watching. Cheers. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.